Well, good morning guys, and welcome back to the channel. Well, today I am back on the buggy, and as you can see, I picked up a new exhaust for it. Now I was going to use one that we had with this stinger on here and all this, but then I got a close look at this and it's like, well, we got a stress crack there, and it's all dented up, and it's even, look at that, it's rusted all the way through. So this thing's on a one-way trip to the dumpster. This one is the exhaust that came out of Black Betty, and even this one, I guess people like when they're going backwards, they don't look where they're going, they run into stuff. So even when it comes around to getting an exhaust for Black Betty, we're gonna have to get a new one there. So these are basically garbage, but I reached out to my friends on Facebook, and one guy that's in the off-road industry had an extra one, and this one is totally badass. It has a bung. You can put a oxygen sensor in there to tune the carburetor there, which is nice, but it also has these nice thick flanges, so there's no flux in there, no leakage. So yeah, it's sweet. Now I went ahead and I pulled the gas tank out of Rallybug and put the fuel pump on there, started this thing up, runs great, sounds very cool with this exhaust on it, but I need to make some gas tank mounts, and that's what I'm going to do today. Yesterday I went down and I picked up some 1x8 flat bar, and I have some 1-inch angle iron, so I'm going to make some straps to go over the top of these and secure that gas tank. Then we got some switches to go on the dash there, starter switch, a few off and on for the fuel pump, ignition, and lights, and I got that piece of aluminum there that I'm going to cut and block it in here. So basically this will be a compartment for all the wiring in here, and it will be protected across there. So this thing is very close to ripping, being able to drive around. So I'm going to take care of those few things, and the next day or so, probably 2 days, we'll be driving this thing. But this is going to be so fun. I mean, it's a real small car, as you can see, but it's got quite a bit of horsepower coming out of that motor, so it is going to rip. I cannot wait to drive this thing. So anyways guys, enough talk, I'm gonna get to work. I'll see you in a little bit. All right guys, well, I put a few hours in today and made up some nice little gas tank mounts there. There's this 1-inch angle iron there, and I took some 1-inch strap, and I'll show you. I just used this drum, which is about the same diameter as the gas tank there, and rolled the strap around it, put up a couple of bends here, drilled some holes, put some bolts through, and as easy as that, that gas tank's mounted. Now, as I mentioned, I don't know, last video, maybe earlier this one, I was taking the pedal assembly out of Rallybug because I'm going to be using it's the billet aluminum, all aluminum hydraulic setup there. So that whole area is going to get cut out, reworked. But I tell you what happened. One bolt came out, which of course was the easy one to get to. This one would not come out of there, and look at what I had to do. I had to take my plasma cutter and blow the head off of that. And if any of you have ever worked on a VW, it was all the way down in there. And you know, I'm 6'3", pretty big guy, and even getting down in there was such a pain in the butt. But you can tell I blew the head off of it and was able to get that pedal assembly out of there. But my goodness, was that no fun at all. But I got it out. I can clean up all the slag. There's enough meat there to be able to put a bolt and a washer on, and that'll hold it securely in this. So that's gonna be all I do today. I'm gonna run to the grocery store, run a few errands, you know, or else I'm not eating tonight. So I'm gonna get that done. And old Turbo, he's down to just that. So he'll start complaining if he gets hungry. So I'm gonna run to the store, take care of some stuff. In the morning, basically all I gotta do was mount this, run these cables, and do some wiring. And yeah, that thing's gonna be driving. We're gonna be ripping that thing tomorrow. So today was kind of a pain in the butt, but it's done, it's out of the way. And yeah, tomorrow's gonna be fun day. We'll see you in the morning. Well, good morning, guys. Today is a very exciting day because I'm gonna drive that thing today. In order to do that, I got to do some wiring here. We got this really cool looking switch panel here. Got a few switches there, ignition, fuel pump, lights there, engine start. That's a battery shut off there, and then a fuse block. I got to get all that assembled, and then I pulled this pedal assembly out of Rally Bug yesterday, which you saw, and then I showed you how I had to take a plasma cutter and cut that damn bolt off because it did not want to come out. So, but I got that cleaned up. A bolt and a washer will hold that into place. This piece of aluminum here, I'm going to cut, and that's going to go across the back here, which is going to create the channel there for all the wiring there. So I'm gonna get busy doing all this. The brakes are working. Still haven't bled them, but they seem to be stopping. We'll have to do some bleeding, but we'll see how well it stops today. Got the new exhaust installed. That's awesome. Obviously I got to trim some fuel line here. Made up the gas tank mounts. So yeah, let's get busy and let's get ripping in that thing. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get to work here, bring you back in a little bit when I get a little bit of work done, and we're gonna take this buggy for a drive. Hey guys, I got some cables run at this, but I tell you, it's all real stiff. It has these old, just like pieces of tubing that they're running through. They were all gummed up inside, angles are all wrong, so I'm going to end up I'm going to have to buy some tubing that size and run all the way around. But you see this guy here goes up through the shroud, and things are functioning, but they're just not smooth. I mean that's ridiculous. The clutch works a little better, but yeah, it's gonna involve getting some tube. Look at that. Even that starts out low and then goes up. All of that drag on the cable is just making the function of the throttle difficult, and I sure don't want it to get stuck wide open on me. So I mean, yeah, this is all jerry rigged, and I'm gonna have to redo all of that. I am not happy at all with how that is. So, but I might be able to get it functioning good enough for today, because I do want to drive this thing today. Anyways, I got to cut this aluminum, and I have seen guys cut aluminum plate with a plasma cutter. I never have. So let's give this a shot and see how this works. I'll start out with the small edge first, just in case you know, have things blow up or something. Who knows what's gonna happen, but we're gonna give it a shot right now. Find my gloves. It's got a little slag to clean up, but it did cut it. I don't have a long piece of angle iron, so we'll just do it a bit at a time. Well, it cut it. A little close to the table there. Roughed up there. Kind of left a mess of slag everywhere, but you know, I'll clean that up with a little flappy and that'll be good. All right, so plasma cutters work on aluminum. We now know that. Well guys, I got some work done around here. Check this out. Tell me those switches don't look cool. And we got the back panel of aluminum cut, bolted down there. Did a little oops there, but there's actually, we're gonna put a body on this thing. So there'll be aluminum panels in these places there. So if we're leaking a little air there, that's fine. The main thing was a channel for the wiring to be hidden in there. And there's the fuse box. You can't see it because it's on the other side. It's inside there. But yeah, this thing's all ready to get wired. I am going to run to O'Reilly right now to see just how big of steel brake line they have there, so I can run some channels, conduits, whatever you want to say, just tubing to put these cables in there. So I mean, this doesn't even work. It's binding on the way there. So I have got to redo these tubes. You see those right there, all the way out. And I'm hoping they have, you know, if it's a 1/4 inch steel tubing, I should be able to make some channels for those cables to ride into. But as it is right now, it just ain't working. So it looks like it's going to take another day to be able to drive this thing because I still got some work to do. But that's cool. I like the looks of those switches. Those look cool. And so yeah, just a few more things. We'll be driving. It's getting hot. What did I say about September in Tucson? Yeah. So I'm going to call it a day today, except for running to get some materials. And we'll be back on it in the morning. So we'll see you in the morning. Well, good morning, guys, and welcome back. I have got another day on this, the buggy. Now, yesterday I ran some throttle and clutch cables, and they end up binding and just not flowing very well. I mean, look down in there, that one conduit, whatever you want to call it, is yeah, it's kind of beaten up. I actually had to I hooked a wire to the drill and ran it through it to clean the dirt out, whatever. So I went to O'Reilly yesterday and I got some fresh steel here, and I'm gonna pull a seat and see if I can't run some nice channels and get these cables working properly, because this thing will not drive. See that actually comes up at such a angle there. It's probably rubbing hard there. So that tubing I'll be able to bend down. Everything is solidly mounted, so I can actually run hard, the conduit hard all the way through, and don't have to worry about the motor wobbling like that. So let's go ahead and pull that seat out of there and see if I can't do something about that. And then got a whole bunch of wire there to get some juice up to these beautiful switches. So I'm gonna get to work here, get a little bit done, and we'll see what we get done today. All right, we'll see you. Well, get the seat out of the way, we can get a closer look at what's going on here. Yeah, that's not flowing very nice there. This here, yeah. What's with that bad angle there? I'm just gonna run that along the top here. We're rubbing there. That's been rubbing there so much in the past, it's eating a hole in that tube in there. Yeah, somebody didn't do a very good job of routing these cables in the past, and well, we're gonna correct that little problem right now. I'd say that's gonna go a lot smoother on them cables there. Now, what's neat about these brake lines is they actually have a copper lining on the inside, kind of a soft metal. Probably add a little lubrication. So yeah, I am just a tad short for the throttle cable. I got to run back to O'Reilly and get enough to go through the shroud, and yeah, then it'll be on to the wiring, because these cables are about done. So we'll see you in a bit. So guys, this is basically the wiring here. We got the switches, or the back side of the switches. This is the master cutoff here. Starter, fuse block. This will get bolted up into here, and all the wiring will be back in there. So, you know, you got to turn this thing on like that. Ignition, fuel pump, cut off there. Yeah, this thing's ready to rip. It's a little low on gas. I'm gonna run and get some gas, bolt all this up, put the seat back in there, and next time you see me, we're gonna be going down the road, see how this thing runs. Let me go take care of that stuff, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I have no idea how this is gonna go, but you're gonna find out with me. There it is. A couple of hard working weeks on this thing, and It's ready to go. I turned it around in the yard. One thing I discovered already is that I'm gonna have to move this whole pedal assembly back a little bit. As tall as I am, I'm having to reach the pedals. So let's make sure ball joints are all tight. You know what? Let me put a nut on that. That thing there. Yeah. All right, before we go, we're gonna secure these ball joints. Because I remember this thing being a jerry rig like it is, I wanted to put a new one on it. Okay, so we're gonna do that and then we're gonna go. Because I don't want to lose steering while I'm out there. All right, just a second, guys. Well, I tell you what, there's a little bit of details to work out. I'm gonna have to replace them ball joints, but you know, in the tie rods, I was thinking I'd build some tie rods for it and get some good ball joints on there. But I tell you what, and that thing does run rich, and I have a feeling I got a fouled plug. It's only running on 3. The damn thing would be scary if it's running on all 4. But yeah, you know, a few details. I tell you, the rear end, somebody set up this rear end so tight that there's nothing there. So you got to pull them torsion plates off there and come back a couple of teeth on that. Brakes definitely need to be bled. That's that ball joints up front. And I'm gonna have to move this assembly back just a few inches, but you know, I'm stretching out as far as I can to operate the pedals. But good news is, guys, it's ripping. A lot of work last couple weeks on this thing, and it was fun to finally get it out there and drive. But like always, always more work to do on these things. But really just get the details down. All the gears work fine. I mean, I was upshifting, downshifting. There's no problems with the transaxle, which is always a relief with these old VW projects. But yeah, we're gonna work out some bugs, and then we'll strip it all down and paint it and get some upholstery work done. But yeah, this thing's an absolute ripper, man. I tell you, that was fun. So anyways, guys, thanks a lot for hanging in here through this project. And oh boy, we do not have a shortage of projects. So like and subscribe, and come along with us, because it's going to be a blast. Take care, guys. Thanks.